Welcome to Sriram's IAS. Today's topic for discussion is Uniform Civil Code. UCC. Okay. So today Uniform Civil Code. Why? In news. Recently, Uttarakhand government has approved Uttarakhand cabinet has approved the UCC regulations close to a year after the legislation has been passed by the state assembly. Okay, and the date for implementation will be notified soon. Okay, so Uttarakhand government has approved, that is the cabinet has approved UCC regulations, and this was after a legislation has been passed. The legislation has been passed close to a year. Okay, after the legislation has been passed by the assembly close to a year, now yesterday it has passed the UCC regulations. So what is Uniform Civil Code, or what is the aim of Uniform Civil Code? Okay, so the aim is to replace what? Replace the current system where the different religious communities follow their own personal law in matters like marriage, divorce, inheritance, adoption and succession. Okay, so it aims to replace the current system where different religious communities are following their own personal law or own personal laws in what? In matters like marriage, divorce, inheritance, succession or adoption. Okay, so this is the aim. Now what does Uniform Civil Code refer to? Uniform Civil Code refers to a single set, that is, you are replacing the current system where you have different religious communities practicing or following their own personal laws. Okay, so it refers to, UCC refers to a single system or single set of laws. Single system of laws governing personal matters like marriage, divorce, inheritance, adoption, succession, etc. Okay, so UCC, it refers to or it aims to bring about a single system of laws, that is, replace the current system where you have different religious communities following their own personal laws in matters like marriage, divorce, inheritance, adoption and succession. So it aims to bring about, or it refers to a single system of laws governing personal matters like marriage, divorce, inheritance, adoption and succession. Okay, so this UCC is a long-standing and complex issue in the legal and social landscape of India. Okay, so what about the constitutional provision? Is there any constitutional provision for the UCC? Yes. UCC has been a part of the constitutional framework since independence. Okay, since independence it has been the part of constitutional framework, that is, it was included in the directive principles of the state policy, that is enshrined in the part 4, article 36 to 51. Okay, so it is included in the directive principles of the state policy. Now, directive principles of the state policy are enshrined in the part 4, article 36 to 51. So, what article? Article 44 of the directive principle of the state policy. So, what does article 44 state? It states that the state shall endeavor to secure to all its citizens, or the state shall endeavor to secure a uniform civil code for all its citizens throughout the country. Throughout the country. Now, like the fundamental rights that are enshrined in the part 3, from article 12 to 35, okay, the fundamental rights that are enshrined in the part 3 from article 12 to 35, these fundamental rights are justiciable. Okay, justiciable meaning when the fundamental rights of a citizen are infringed upon or violated, then the citizen can approach the court for the redressal of his grievance. That is, under article 32, he can approach the Supreme Court. Article 226, he can approach the High Court. So, the fundamental rights are justiciable. But, whereas the directive principles of the state policy are non-justiciable. That is, they cannot be enforced by the court. If they are not implemented, they cannot be enforced by the court. That is, a citizen cannot approach a court for the enforceability of directive principles of the state policy. That is, it is not a justiciable legal right. Okay, directive principles are not a justiciable legal right. Now, what about the constitutional? So, what is the constitutional history behind the Uniform Civil Code? Okay, so the subcommittee on fundamental rights. Okay, the subcommittee on fundamental rights tasked with drafting of the fundamental rights for the constitution has split the fundamental rights into justiciable and non-justiciable fundamental rights. Okay, so the subcommittee on fundamental rights tasked with drafting the fundamental rights for the constitution has split the fundamental rights into justiciable and non-justiciable and placed UCC in non-justiciable part. Okay, again article 44. Okay, so the Uniform Civil Code was placed under article 44 of the directive principles of the state policy. This was based on the Constituent Assembly debates of the Constituent Assembly. Based on the Constituent Assembly debates, this Uniform Civil Code was placed under Article 44 of the Directive Principles of the State Policy. So, this is the constitutional history. Now, what about the judicial key judgments? Okay. Key judgments. 1985 Shah Bano case. In Shah Bano case, the court held the right of the Muslim woman for maintenance. The right of the Muslim woman for maintenance. Okay. So, by upholding the right of the Muslim women for maintenance, it has called for UCC for promoting national integration. In 1985, Jordan Diande case, the court recognized the inconsistencies in divorce laws and asked for the promotion of UCC for bringing about uniformity or legal uniformity, bringing about legal uniformity throughout the country. In 1996, Pannalal Bansilal Pitti case, the court acknowledged the pluralism and asked for or stated the promotion of the UCC. Okay. In 2000, Lily Thomas case, the Supreme Court has recognized the significance of UCC in terms of succession. In 2003, John Vellamottam case, the diverse Christian personal laws were struck down, or the discriminatory Christian personal laws were struck down, and again the asked for the promotion of UCC. Okay. In 1996, Pannalal case, the pluralism was acknowledged and gradual implementation of UCC was stated by the court. Now, in 2017, Shaira Bano case, the triple talaq was struck down. Okay, the triple talaq in the Muslim personal laws was struck down, and it again reignited the debate on UCC. What are the arguments in favor of UCC? Equality before law. Article 14. It ensures equal rights and equal treatment of all the citizens. It promotes standardization of marriage laws, gender equality and religious neutrality. It encourages women, or it empowers women and challenges the patriarchal norms. The personal laws are discriminatory towards the women, and the UCC, with the implementation of the UCC, the issues like triple talaq, unequal inheritance laws and child marriages can be better addressed. It simplifies the legal system and streamlines the personal laws. So, it makes it easier for the judiciary to administer justice because of the implementation of UCC, and also the judicial backlog. There is a reduction in the judicial backlog because most of the civil cases, or a major chunk of the civil cases, are based on personal laws. National integration. It promotes national integration. That is, promotes national integration by promoting citizenship, okay, rather than religious identity. Now, after the implementation of the UCC, the citizenship is highlighted rather than religious identity. Modernization and social reforms. The practices, old practices or outdated practices, they shall be reformed, and the personal laws shall be aligned with the contemporary social values. For example, in 2018, the Supreme Court held same-sex relationships. Okay, 2018 the Supreme Court has upheld same-sex relationships, and also it can better address LGBTQ plus issues like marriage, adoption, inheritance. Okay, it can better address. International standards. It is in tune with the international standards, that is international human rights. Okay, India can better position itself in the global indices like Global Gender Gap Index. What are the arguments against the Uniform Civil Code? Cultural diversity. Indian society is a plural society characterized by rich cultural and religious practices which are protected by personal laws. UCC creates cultural homogenization by eroding eroding cultural diversity. Religious freedom. It may infringe or it infringes upon the religious freedom or right to religious freedom enshrined in the Constitution under Article 25. Personal law is an integral part of the religious practice. So, UCC is creating a single set of laws. Okay. Federalism. It infringes upon the federal structure of India by undermining the state autonomy. That is, by implementing a nationwide UCC, the state autonomy is being undermined. Economic impact. Massive overhaul of the legal system includes significant costs. Now, what is the way forward? Way forward. Consensus building by consultation and dialogue with all the stakeholders, that is the religious leaders, legal experts, NGOs, etc. Phased and gradual approach. The phased approach is more feasible rather than the abrupt overhaul. Protecting the minority rights and cultural practices by providing constitutional safeguards and strengthening them. Awareness should be created regarding the constitutional rights and gender justice by giving legal literacy. This is regarding the Uniform Civil Code. Thank you.